I'm with you there. Absolutely. Like no men and women's sports. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know how we got to any of that
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
But definitely I think fathers in the home, we're the rock, we're the leaders. We should lead in faith as well.
Yeah. Mr. John Hanzalik,
Yes, sir.
thank you for joining me in the den.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm honored.
It's a pleasure to have you. It was almost a little kind of last minute thing here, but you were able to make it on. You were recommended and referred to me by a mutual acquaintance, mutual friend. I call her a friend. I'm sure you would call her a friend as well.
Yes, wonderful woman.
And one of the things about my podcast, John, is that God always seems to line up the guests. I never panic when somebody cancels last minute. It happens more than I'd like for it to happen, which is unfortunate. Some people won't even say nothing. I call, hey, looking forward to having you. Oh, I'm not going to be able to. I'm like, what?
Oh, my goodness.
But sometimes I get upset, but I've come to the realization that God always provides the right person in place of whoever canceled, and I'm always pleased to have the guests that I have on. It's always a blessing, and I think it's a God ordained situation. So again, it's a blessing to have you with me.
It's a blessing to be here. I appreciate that, and we've noticed God kind of does that just in general.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime something's not going our way, we kind of give it to God, and He figures it out.
If we could remember that, right?
Well, that's the challenge. But when something's real tough, it is a little easier to give it to God because what are you going to do?
I've seen it over and over and over, and still, when something goes the way I don't plan it, I get bothered by it. That's actually one of my pet peeves, when I'm expecting something and it doesn't happen. So it really bothers me. But when everything plays out and the dust settles, it's like, man, this is exactly how God wanted it to come to pass.
I could see that. I'm the same way because you go through a lot of effort to make sure things go your way.
Mm-hmm.
And when they don't, it is disappointing.
It can be a little frustrating.
Yeah, for sure.
And then God shows you it's not your plans, it's my plans. I got this. Trust me.
He's the one in charge. Yeah.
So the reason our mutual friend, I don't know if it's okay to say her name, so I'll just call her our mutual friend.
I'm probably going to say it at some point. Yeah.
That's all right. Then let's say Arcelia Padron.
Yes.
From the Richard M. Borchard Regional Fairgrounds. We're out there getting ready for a men's conference. So we're getting our props and everything set up, and went in there to sign a contract, and we started talking about podcasting. And your name came up, and she highly recommended you to be on the podcast. I said, get him. If he can do it, let's do it. And you were busy, I think.
I was, yep.
And then she said something towards the end. He said, but if tonight is the only time we can do it, I'm in. I said, well, we don't record till 9. Maybe it's doable for him at 9. And she checked with you, and sure enough, you were able to do it, which is awesome. But we were talking about podcasting. And let me tell the people who you are real quick, and then we'll move on to conversation, because you're running for city council here in Corpus Christi.
Yes, sir. District 5.
District 5, which would be replacing
Gil Hernandez. Yes.
Gil Hernandez. Let's just go into that then. Gil Hernandez how long has he been a city council member in Corpus Christi?
When he turns out, it'll be 8 years.
8 years, and he's not running anymore.
At least not for that seat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's running for mayor.
Perhaps. I mean, he hasn't told me that, and I've asked him several times.
How many people are running for mayor that have already kind of made it known?
I mean, David Ainsworth you've probably heard his song.
Really?
His song's everywhere. Yeah, he's got kind of a catchy song he's running, and I would assume
from Ainsworth Trucking.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I met Mr. Ainsworth.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Pretty interesting. He's done a lot for the community. He's been a business owner in this area for a long time. So
yeah,
a good candidate, good strong candidate there. And I would assume Paulette is going to run again as well. aside from that, I haven't heard of too many other. There's talk of any number of the current city council
And
members.
that young lady Paxson
Yeah, I heard
or
Caitlin Paxson might
Caitlin
run.
Paxson.
Gil is a name that gets thrown out a
Gil.
lot. Carolyn gets thrown out a lot.
Carolyn Mon?
So there's no telling.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an
It's going to be
interesting.
a lot of people.
Yeah, it's an interesting climate we've got right now for sure.
So what's your take on Mayor Paulette?
Well, full disclosure, I didn't vote for Paulette. I voted for Michael Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously went to runoff. He obviously didn't win. But I don't agree with what's happening now. I think what they're essentially attempting to do by removing the mayor, I think it kind of slights the individuals that voted for her,
Right.
and put her in office. And I think it invalidates their vote.
So is it even legal to do that? I have been having a conversation with a gentleman from the Alice area, and he follows a lot of politics. And he said, "Is that even legal? Can they even do that? Cancel out the votes of the public? 4 or 5 people? 5 people cancel out votes like that?"
Yeah, and I'm not a legal scholar, right? I'm not an attorney either. It is going through the court system, right? Like she's got attorneys to try to negate what's going on. And my guess is it's just going to go on and go on and go on until the election anyway. So to me, it seems like theater a little bit, like a bit of distraction from city business. I think they have more important things they can be working on than that.
So if they do take her out, when would that take place?
I'm not exactly sure when. Something just came down from the Supreme Court that she couldn't be deposed anymore. I believe it is. So who know? I don't know the exact date of when that vote is going to come down to.
Okay.
To be honest with you,
I was telling you earlier, I've been trying to get her on the podcast and haven't been able to make that happen. She says she'll come on, and then something changes and she doesn't come on, but we're hoping to be able to get her on here. I think this is a very friendly platform for anybody. I don't care, what stances you take. We just have conversation. I think it's important to be able to talk and to share ideas, opinions, and thoughts without it getting hostile.
Yeah, well, that's how you learn and grow and get things done anyway. So yeah.
I had Denise Villalobos here a couple weeks ago. Amazing woman.
I agree.
I told her, you're very deceptive. You get more than what you expect with Denise.
Sure.
You sit down and talk to her, and all of a sudden she's blowing your mind with all the things she's saying. I'm like, wow, this was one of the most interesting, if not the most interesting conversations I've had as I've been podcasting.
Yeah, she's a very intelligent, humble human being. Anytime you're around her, I mean, she's just a good person to be around, honestly, and she genuinely cares for the area. So
yeah, she brought home $50 million.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she's a huge advocate for this area.
Yeah, her freshman year and legislature brings home $50 million.
Yeah, I think she passed the second most
that's what she
bills
said.
of any freshman. So that's kudos to her. She's doing a great job.
That's pretty neat, and she seems to be very aggressive. Again, unexpected, right? But very aggressive and knows what she wants, knows how to get it, and she's learning things. She's up there. It's her freshman year, and she's learning all kinds of stuff. She said that people from Houston were in her office and saying, we need $500 million for this project with some kind of water supply thing. And she said, she started asking questions like, we can get money for water?
Yeah.
And she said she called back home over here to Corpus Christi and said, why is Houston in my office asking for money for water and you guys are not? And she was kind of like blown away by that and kind of disturbed because we've been able to do that for years.
And no one's done it.
And nobody in our area has ever pulled money into our communities.
Yeah, that is interesting. And we're blessed to have her, like I say, as an advocate for the area to do that. So yeah.
So I'm pulling for her and her reelection. She's a great person. So give me a little bit of a background. Are you coming from a political background? Is family in politics?
No, absolutely not. I'm a welder by trade.
Okay.
So I was a welder for many, many years, and I got blessed with an opportunity to start my own company. and that's what I did. 5 years ago, I started a company when Steel Dynamics came into town. You familiar with them?
Okay, yeah.
And we were blessed. Like I say, they gave a small, a company an opportunity. We took it and ran with it, and I have since branched off into a separate entity, but doing the same thing essentially.
Mhm.
So industrial welding fabrication. I got folks that work for me. We go in, we do capital projects if need be, maintenance, and whatever our clients need, we do. But it's definitely centered around the industry,
Very-
refineries, petrochemical plants, what have you.
Do you know a gentleman by the name of Matt Richard?
Matt Rashad. I do know a Matt Rashad.
Richard.
What's
Spelled like Richard, but Matt Richard.
Is he a QC?
What's that? QC.
Quality control?
Yes, I believe so.
I do know. Did he used to own a QC company like Lone
I
Star?
believe so. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's
I know
him.
that, yeah.
That's him. Good friend of mine. He was a member here at our church before he moved to Fort Worth, helping another ministry out there.
Wow.
Yeah, they just left last month. So it's a small world. He's taken me to some fabricating conferences in Atlanta
Wow.
and one in San Antonio. It's fun to be at, man.
That's good. I was kind of wondering where he went at, because when I was with another outfit, he was like the consultant, the
Right.
CWI, QA QC consultant for him.
Yeah.
So, and he was doing his own thing for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, great guy. So we're going back to RC. She mentioned that you'd be a great person for a podcast. Do you watch lots of podcasts?
I am a podcast consumer. I'm a little weird with what I watch. I go through like phases. Like obviously I went through a Joe Rogan phase. He kind of took a turn for me. Like he used to. Do you know who Eddie Bravo is?
Oh, sounds familiar. But
He would have him on. He's kind of a conspiracy type guy, but
Yeah.
he owns 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu gyms and stuff like that. But he would be on quite a bit. Tim Dillon would be on his show quite a bit. And Joe Rogan kind of took a turn, right? He got very, very, very mainstream, took a turn. So I don't listen to him as much, but if he has a key guest, I will absolutely check him out.
Who would you consider to be a key guest?
Well, he had, like, if he has like someone real controversial, like an Alex Jones. If Alex Jones goes on his show, Tim Dillon was just on his show recently. I watched that. There was a gentleman, I forget his name, but it was all centered around data centers. He had him on the show.
Really?
So that was interesting. I forget that gentleman's name, but big data center investor.
So tell me what you know about data centers, because I've been trying to pick people's brains about it, and I don't get it.
I don't know a lot about. I mean, some things you see say they use an awful lot of water and an awful lot of power, and then what you're trying to see now is to combat that is saying they bring their own power, and it's a closed loop water system. But even if it is closed loop, my understanding is they have to recycle. They have to dispatch that water, bring in new water frequently. So I don't know much about them. I'm not, full disclosure, I'm not a huge AI fan. Like if we didn't have ChatGPT, I'd be just fine.
Yeah, of course.
Like if we could take it away, I'd be fine.
Same.
It scares me, quite frankly, of where it can go if left unchecked. So I'm just not a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nothing's believable anymore.
No, it's very scary. Yeah, the president can come on the TV tomorrow and tell you something
That
crazy.
He's actually not saying.
And you don't know. Yeah, you won't know. Well, I mean, I can see the benefit to it, right? I would like it checked a little bit.
It's too dangerous. Like anybody can be accused of anything. And look, here's the video. And even though people know AI exists, they'd still believe it.
It's getting good. Like,
there was this one video early in the year. It might have even been last year, where there's this guy sitting in front of the camera and says, you cannot believe anything that you see anymore. And while he's saying this, he's turning into Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and all these different people, actors and stuff. And it's like,
you can't really tell, huh?
You cannot at all. It's like, that's them, but it's just AI.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. And I know it does great things, because I know it can compute things and solve problems at an astronomical rate where we need to sleep, right? We need to sleep,
Right.
take breaks. It doesn't. So it does some good. I just, like I say, I wish, and I'm not really a huge regulation guy either, but on that, I would like to see some kind of regulation on it.
I think the genie's out of the bottle and you can't really put it back in.
Yeah,
It's going to do what it's going to do. And the further it goes, the faster it's going to get.
Absolutely.
To where you won't even be able to control any of it.
What do you think about it? I mean, obviously, It's in our lives everywhere.
What do I think? I think it's very, very dangerous because the people with power will be able to do whatever they want to you, for sure.
Yeah.
We got you on video. Again, even though people know, look at Jan 6. Like, I think that was a bunch of nonsense. I think it was set up and it was planned. And yet people act as if though it actually happened. Like there was actually people out there trying to overtake the Capitol. And it's like, bro, they were escorting them in. Like there's plenty of video. There's plenty of video where there's agents kind of
leading them
initiating,
on,
provoking and breaking windows. Now, I say that while at the same time, that could be AI. So what I'm saying is you cannot trust any of it. Yet people establish some really strong thoughts and beliefs and allow their emotions to go certain ways based on those things. And I'm like, you don't even know if that's true.
No, your pastor, does the Bible speak about any of this? I'm sure it.
Well, it talks about the increase of knowledge, right? And it talks about the desolation of abomination when the Antichrist will step into the temple and say that he is God. And I think that this all could be leading up to something like that because AI can, and I believe will, learn to tap into all the idiosyncrasies of people and what they're prone to bow down to and what pulls at their heartstrings to create gods that suit them and fit them, to the point that where if it says it is God, there's a little gnat flying around, that they will want to worship that.
Right. Do you think it leads into the mark of the beast a little bit? It's make digital currency kind of. Maybe?
I think it leads to it. I just don't know how that's going to unfold. I don't know that it'll be as simple to the eye as when COVID was taking place and the vaccines and all that. Man, to me, I was like, if this was the mark of the beast, people would be in trouble. You know what I mean? It could be. Yeah, I thought it could have been. You know, I thought this would be perfect because you can't buy or sell. You know, you can't go into Walmart. You can't go to work. That's where it was going. I think there was enough resistance that kind of broke apart, but that was their intention.
That was an interesting human experiment, was it not?
Oh yeah. How much can we control them without them resisting? And people lined up.
They did. I it might have been a test, and we may have failed that because there was a lot of folks policing other folks about, hey, don't hang out with your family, get inside, don't go to parks, don't go to beaches. No. Like I'll just be honest, our family, we had pachangas every weekend. Like, if we're gonna go out, we're gonna go out with the people we love and care about. Yeah, and that's just what it is.
So we didn't close our church.
Cool.
I almost got arrested. The sheriff and the county judge, what was her name, Barbara Canales, sent out the sheriff out here and some of his deputies and constables and Robstown PD were out here.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't stop us. They were just telling them about the order and the risks, I guess, the consequences of violating the judge's order and the risks of the virus, right? And I called Channel 3. And Channel 3 said wouldn't come out to cover it. They said, well, they're going to shut you down because you're not supposed to be open, more than 10 people, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, since when does a news agency not want to cover news like this? So I took a picture from inside with the officers outside, and I said, when police show up to try to scare people from going to church, I think that's the wording I used. And I said, hashtag, is this America? Hashtag see you at 11. And by the time that service was over, it had blown up, like 98% negative towards us. And somebody on there said, I bet this wasn't the response he thought he was going to get. And I didn't respond to it, but I didn't. That's not the response. Not in America and definitely not in Texas.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
Hey, but good on you for doing that, though. That takes a lot of, it took a lot of guts. to do that or to not wear a mask during that time?
And we weren't doing it to be
Rebellious or whatever. You
right. It was,
trying to
it
fellowship.
didn't make sense. I did it also more for the reason that we're not just going to comply with stupidity.
Right.
And there was a lot of stupidity going on.
Well, the restaurant, you can go to a restaurant, you had to wear your mask while you're walking in. Once you sat down, you could take your mask off. Like, where was the common sense in that?
Well, I was in a restaurant in the Valley, and the Valley was like super hypersensitive.
Were they?
They think very highly of themselves out there, and they could not die, right? Walked into a restaurant. The table was literally right next to the door. The gentleman runs up to me. You got to put on your mask. I was like, we're going to sit down right here, bro. Put on your mask. I was like, I'm out. I was like, nah, I'm not going to put up with that nonsense. So I did it for my sake and my benefit also. Don't just comply. Don't get into the practice of just doing things that don't make any sense for the betterment of everybody when it doesn't make any sense.
It really didn't. The 6 foot apart, our kids wearing masks at school. I wasn't a fan of that. We're not designed to wear a mask all day.
No.
Like we're designed to exhaust a gas, right? We're not intended to exhaust it and then breathe it back in. So.
Right. I was in the hospital with my dad. It was already like probably like a year later, 2021. And it was Spawn Shoreline. And I had been in the room. I was going to stay with they didn't want us to stay. I said, we're staying with my dad. You guys come in here and offer him medication that he's not even supposed to be getting. Somebody's going to be with him, make sure that he's taken care of. They had already done that to my mom, given her a medication called Lipitor for her cholesterol, I think. And it was making her loopy. And she was seeing things on the wall, and she would repeat stuff and forget things. And we're like, what's going on? She had just had heart surgery. They gave her some heparin, and she had like a adverse reaction to it. So her legs started turning purple and her foot started turning purple. We kept calling them, hey, her foot, oh, that's normal. Just have her walk on it. And till finally, they took her to an appointment that had actually been canceled. Said, can y'all please look at her foot? They looked at it and said, oh, no, this is not normal. It was black. We got to check her in immediately to the ER. She had a blood clot in her leg and in her lung.
Wow.
Her body had a reaction to the heparin, which is not new. It's not uncommon.
Right.
Yet they were not monitoring that.
Were they just hyper-focused on the COVID deal?
No, COVID had not taken place yet.
Oh, okay.
Right. So she ended up losing her toes, but they wanted to cut her leg off. My mom refused. She said, no, I'm going to trust God. And eventually her little toes fell off on their own. But she still got her leg. Yeah. They wanted to cut her leg off. They were insistent that they should do that. So we were already, and so every time that a different shift would come in, they'd try to give her Lipitor again. She'd get restless, and we're like, you guys need to stop giving her this.
Yeah.
So we started making sure somebody was there with her mom. So when my dad was in there, I did the same thing. I said, somebody's going to be with him. So I'm staying here with him one night, and I pulled the covers off of that fold-out mattress, and there's a sheet on there with blood stains galore, and it looked like somebody had been scratching their feet all over the thing, right? There was like dandruff type of
dry
stuff.
Skin everywhere.
Oh, yeah. And the next morning I'm walking in, and somebody from behind a shielded desk says, you got to put on a mask. And I went over there and I said, y'all need to stop with the stupidity. Instead of making us put on a mask pretending like y'all are clean, y'all should go into those rooms and actually clean them.
Clean, yeah.
In my dad's room, there was blood-stained sheets with, this and that. And just nonsense, unrational behavior. It was just upsetting and disturbing.
It was. But I do think Texas fared better than most, even as crazy as it was here too.
Thankfully for Abbott,
yeah.
He came out that Tuesday. We were all over the news immediately. I mean, national news and everything.
Your church was?
Yes, sir.
Wow, good. Good.
And he came out on that Tuesday. They had already come out on television saying that they were putting paperwork together to arrest me. And on Tuesday, he came out and made a declaration, I guess, and deemed the church essential.
Good.
At that point, any church that didn't show up was actually being dishonorable, because essential entities had to show up. Police officers, firefighters, Walmart employees, HEB, nurses, doctors, they were all supposed to show up.
You know what's interesting about that is they were giving you grief about your church. I was a welder at the time, and I was essential, and we'd go to safety meetings. There'd be 200 people in a tent. You know what I mean? So we were allowed to do that because we're building something, but you can't go and pray and worship with your fellow man and woman. That's interesting.
Yeah, there was a lot of information that was given. There's a lot of things going on that, like we just mentioned, people just went along with. I think that's part of the process. I think leading up to what we talked about, Mark the Beast and all that, AI, leading up to where people just do as they're told. I think in order for end time prophecies to be fulfilled, people have to be passive and people have to follow orders at whim, like when they're told to. And I think that was like a little dry run and see how they would fare. Let's give them the most ridiculous scenario and see if they follow.
Do it.
And they did.
I know it was disappointing. It really was disappointing. But that's why we need good leaders too, right? So we don't. So we don't get ourselves in that situation.
Miss Barbara Canales, I don't have anything against her personally because I don't know her, but the way she handled that to me was horrible. She'd come out in the evening news and say, well, tonight you're able to have dinner with your family and watch a movie in the privacy of your own home. And I remember like recording that and sharing it and say, are y'all kidding me? Like, you guys are allowing this person to tell you that you can have dinner and watch a movie at home with your family? And people were on there commenting, thank you, Judge. We appreciate everything. And I'm like, man, this is like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. We partied like there was no tomorrow, Well, I mean, just because, like, am I not going to see my mom? Am I not going to see my family? What if we do die? We want to spend our last moments with them for sure.
Right. Right. And, they were creating situations that were not conducive to health, keeping elderly away from their children, grandchildren.
You're right.
So as to not
indoors, not out in the sun. We need sunlight.
Right. Oh, there was a bunch of crazy stuff going on. But that's why you have to have people who are alert, people who are paying attention to what's going on. And I also believe, Mr. Hanzalik, did I pronounce that right?
You did. Very good, yeah.
I also believe that you have to have spirit-led leaders. One of the things that I've been mentioning here lately, because of AI, you cannot believe your eyes and ears, is that you're going to have to be dependent on a different guide, which the Bible tells us that the Holy Spirit gives us the gift of discernment. That means that you're able to make decisions based on another source, right, which is not our natural senses.
Right, sure.
To lead you. And I believe that spirit-led leaders are going to be crucial in our leadership positions, in whether it's politics or leading churches or schools or what have you.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. How would you say that you allow the Spirit of God to lead you in your life and even in this political endeavor that you're taking on?
Well, that's a good question. I definitely prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed before we made the decision for, it was a family decision. I got with my wife, got with my kids, making sure they were okay with it, but definitely prayed about it first. We pray all the time. We pray before every meal. We sit down and pray as a family. We just kind of pray for guidance. We ask him to give us, give us the knowledge, give us the spirit within himself, within us to make these difficult decisions. That we will never make a difficult decision in our family without asking God first.
So as a welder and a businessman, a family man, husband, father, what prompted you to run for city council?
Well, I love Corpus Christi. I'm born and raised in Corpus. I love it here. I've worked all over the country, pretty much all over Texas, Louisiana, and every time I leave, I can't wait to come back because I do love it here. I think we have a unique city. I think the people here are amazing. They just really are. Like I went and worked in another. I'll just say it, Mississippi. You hold the door open for somebody, they don't say anything.
Right.
They don't say anything at all. I go up to the counter. You got your Red Bull or whatever. You're like, hey, how you doing this morning? They don't say anything. They give you the total. But you come to Corpus, it's a it's a homey feel. We have very, very good people here. And selfishly, my son's 17. He's about to go to college next year. He'll be off in college, and I want him to come back, but I want him to have something to come back to. I want Corpus to not only survive, I want it to thrive. And I do feel we need good, strong leadership to kind of right the ship because we're making national news in a bad way right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's aware of what's going on in Corpus Christi, and we need people that can make a decision and stand by the decision. And if something new comes up, it's okay to change your opinion.
Right.
You don't have to look at it like, oh, I'm flip flopping this, that, and the other.
In the sand.
We've all made a decision on the facts that we had at the time, and new facts have come in, and we've pivoted as human beings. So I don't see the issue with that.
Yeah. So the issue that is really prominent here or being highlighted in our city is water.
For sure.
The desalination plant project. And we have I believe it's 5 council members. I don't even know who all they are. I might know 1 or 2 that call themselves the Fab Five, or people are calling them the Fab
Yeah, I think
Five.
someone's coined them that.
Yeah. That are against it. And I've sat down with plenty of people that tell me, we need it. We need it. We need it. We need it. And that have told me they've run the tests. They say it's going to be fine. And even the people that say, even if it's not fine, we'll tackle it when it gets here.
Absolutely. We have some of the brightest minds in the world in this city, I believe. Within the refineries and the chemical plants we have here, we have brilliant, brilliant people here. And city staff, we got some good people working for city staff. There's zero chance we set it and forget it. But you're right. The studies do show that it's going to be fine. TCQ said it's okay. We got all our permits. Corps of Engineers said it's going to be okay. Like everything they've done said it's going to be okay to do. And like you just pointed out, if we build it and we start seeing things that are unfavorable, we will pivot. We'll make adjustments. We will engineer that out and make it safe. So, but they keep moving the goal. At first it was too expensive, and then it got a little bit cheaper, and then it was the environmental. And they're like, oh, we want a far field study. Then you get a far field study. Well, that's not good because the biologist didn't say it was good. It was okay, even though we paid $300,000 for this firm to do the study, make sure it's okay. Now we give it to local biologists. They got to take their time with it. They literally kick the can the entire time while saying they don't kick the can.
That's something that's plagued, I think, our city government for many years. That type of mentality where they get nothing done, that they put things up to vote that they should be making decisions on. And it just causes industry to leave, or it causes businesses to just leave and keep on going somewhere else. And we miss out on a lot of stuff because of that stagnant, no progress type of mindset. What do you suppose is motivating these 5 council members?
That is the $1 billion question. I really don't know. I wish I knew, because like I say, I wish I could say it was the price because it was too expensive. But that's been changed, and we just missed an opportunity to apply for federal grant money. We didn't want that money, so it can't be priced.
What was it, 120 million or something like that?
It was eligible 120 million. They tried to downplay it like, oh, we'll probably get 10. Well, even if you get 10, that's a star. 10. That's 10 million, and then if we prove to the state and the feds that, hey, we can come together, we can make a decision, we can build a project, I'm sure more support will flow in, right? Because everybody, that has anything to do with this wants it to succeed, because our plants here, as Denise pointed out, I'm sure, what happens in Corpus Christi has a national effect, if not a global effect.
Oh, yeah.
By the things we make here. So they're not just going to let us suffer. In fact, if we don't build it, I have no doubt that Abbott is going to have to step in at some point and help out in one way, shape, or form. However legally he can, I'm sure he'll put his fingerprint on it somehow.
Well, one of the conversations I was having with a family member of mine, or brother-in-law, that is in that industry, and we touched on it with Mr. Roland Barrera and also with Denise, is that these companies, this industry, they're not waiting on the city.
Why would they?
Right. They are looking for viable options, right, for themselves for water.
Absolutely.
And if they find one before, which they probably already found one, but if they decide to move on it before Corpus gets their act together and makes a decision, Corpus loses out.
It hurts the residents, actually.
Right.
It hurts us. In fact, they already GCGV is drilling wells. Steel Dynamics, I believe, is drilling wells. Valero, kudos to them. They're doing that effluent project, which they're paying for the pipeline, they're paying for the effluent water, and they're paying to maintain the facility. Flint Hills is also taking some of that effluent project of their own. That's amazing. But Alice is leaving. Mathis is thinking about leaving. So if we lose all the customers, the infrastructure is the same cost. The actual residential ratepayers are going to suffer, and their rates are going to go up. That's just a fact.
And citizens don't understand that.
I don't know why it's hard to convey, but they seem to struggle with that part. Certain folks, yeah.
There's I guess like a faction that has created this industry is the enemy type of mindset, and I just don't get it. Industry is what's putting food on our citizens' table for the most part.
Yeah.
And if you don't have water, access to more water, then more industry, which would translate into more jobs, more opportunity for our area, more growth, won't come in. They'll skip over us and go to Brownsville, like I think one of the projects did here recently.
Yeah, they have. We've missed a lot of investment in this area already, just because of that. Because you can't really trust the local politics here to make sure that they're going to get what they need to service their facilities. In fact, Eric Cantu, he likes to talk about contracts. He wants contracts with the plants. Well, who wants to sign a contract with an entity you can't trust?
Mm-hmm.
If they did ink a deal, you can't guarantee that they're going to be able to provide that water at this point.
What kind of contracts?
Water contracts. Hey, we're going to take X amount of MGD a day. They want secured. Hey, you are going to get your water from CCW. Essentially making sure they don't go find alternative water sources.
Well, why would they do that?
They wouldn't.
That don't make any sense.
No, unless you can prove to them that you can, and they got to have faith. Any transactional deal, you got to have faith that the other side is going to be able to provide their part of it,
So what role does the Port of Corpus Christi play when it comes to Industry Row and all those companies out there?
It's huge. Our port is amazing. I want to say it's the second leading energy exporter in the nation, maybe third in the world or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's very close. It's very, very critical to this area.
Mm-hmm.
It's brought a lot of opportunity to the coastal bend. The bridge was amazing. Now we can take in bigger tankers. So the Port of Corpus Christi Authority has done amazing.
So I was talking to Denise about that, and I said, you got brilliant people out there at the port.
Absolutely.
That are being hamstrung almost by people that aren't as brilliant in our city government. I'm not saying they're
sure, but
they're uneducated,
right.
But they're not experts in some of these things that the port dedicates themselves to. Like it's their business.
Right. Capitalism lends
livelihood.
itself to bringing in the best and brightest.
Correct. Yet you got people in the city council that don't know a fraction of what these people deal with, yet they're making decisions and kind of limiting what these companies are able to do. And it's like I said, they're not waiting around. They're not going to sit there and fight with you. They're going to find a way to make it happen for their companies.
Yeah, they have shareholders they need to answer to. Boards they have to answer to. Absolutely.
And the citizens lose. And I think it might have to get to that point. where the citizens finally see how industry is not the enemy. Industry has actually been helping the community. And man, I'm like, don't make industry your enemy, because they will leave.
Right.
Like, nobody wants to be in a hostile environment. And if you're not welcome, they'll go somewhere else.
I know. I was on another podcast, Corpus Christi Originals. I don't know if you know Jesus Hernandez or not, but
I don't know him, but I've seen the podcast.
And I made a comment that, you know, if we don't give industry what they need, or we don't provide an environment that's conducive to them being profitable, they'll leave. And the comments are like, industry's not going anywhere. Industry's not going anywhere. But Valero did invest $1 billion to leave California because they couldn't do what they needed to do in that area. So they're like, you know what, taking our ball and going somewhere else. They need to make money. That's
right.
Anyone that's in business, your entire goal is to make money. You need to make money.
Industry is not emotionally tied to a location. Like, no. They're motivated by dollars and cents.
Yeah. Logistically, it's nice here.
Yeah, sure.
Like, the harbor is nice. So and we can have it all. It'd be nice if we can coexist and we get a nice, sustainable, drought-proof water source that they can use. And to be fair, I'd like 2, 3, 4 of them. I would like to be a water hub for the state of Texas, because the entire state is running dry.
Yeah, if we could provide water, industry would be attracted to this area, right?
Absolutely. And we can send it up to San Antonio. They're having issues. Houston's having issues. You know, it's not just here. And I think, you know, with the right people in office, we can be pioneers, and we can pave that way. And
awesome.
And we can prove it can be done proper.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you understand that, because we don't want to miss out on anything anymore.
We don't, and we shouldn't. We don't need to. Mm-hmm. We have a golden opportunity, because we are blessed for the location we have. Mm-hmm. We can have absolutely everything, and our industry partners, they do a great job. They don't pollute the city. Our city doesn't look dirty or trashy. Right. You know, you can't say that about every area that's got industry. You know, you cross the Texas border, it starts looking a little different sometimes. But I think we do a really good job here in the Coastal Bend.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. What other ideas, what other goals would you have for the city if you were to be a city council member?
Well, first and foremost, we have to figure out the water thing, right? Because you can't focus on streets. You can't focus on getting more funding for the police department, fire department. You can't focus on any of that. We have a huge animal control issue right now. We don't even have the lead director for that. And it's probably hard to attract that kind of talent with the climate that we have. So first, knock out the water, and then you can start focusing on, you know, chipping away at some of the other issues that we have. And we have plenty. Mm-hmm. You know, they've done pretty good. I live in District 5, obviously. They've done pretty good in the streets. I live on a dead-end street, small dead-end street. They just repaved my street. I didn't think I would be alive when they did that. and they did. And it's not, you know, something as small as having a nice, smooth road, it makes a difference in your day-to-day. It really does.
Tell me about the street issue in Corpus, because there's always been the pawn of many jokes. And we had a comedian, John Christ, that came here a few years back that I went to go see. And at the beginning of his show, he's got this giant screen, and he's got video that they took driving through Corpus Christi. And they're making fun, and they're ripping at the potholes. And he says, man, you know, Corpus is really nice around the downtown area, but it starts falling apart real fast as you start driving away from it. And people were just cracking up. It's like he pegged it very well. I was like, how can a guy be in town for a day and know exactly what's going on in our city?
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's not.
That's not good. But if we can't agree on something as essential as water, how are we going to agree on those? That?
So how is that possible? How can somebody come in without taking the time to, you know, with detail, look at the community and the city, yet know its problems? And people that are in office, people that are in our community can't figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. But I will say one thing. You see some of the city council members, and not all of them, but some of them don't appear to do all the homework that it takes, right? Because that's a grueling job. That's not just, you don't just go on Tuesday mornings, get your information figured out. I think you really do need to dive into the information you're given, get with staff, have conversation. You're probably going to put 40, 60 hours, if it's real important, 80 hours a week into that.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be willing to put in that work. And
Yeah,
put
Mr.
it
Everett
on us.
Roy talked about that and how much time and effort goes into that. Barrera as well, Mr. Rolando Barrera. And I would imagine that it needs to, I mean, you need to put that kind of time and effort and research and um,
It doesn't appear that they all do that. No.
I'd ask you to name names, but what percentage would you say of the council actually puts in that work?
I'd say there's about 3 that do.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll give a shout out to Gil Hernandez. He definitely reads. He goes through that information. Now I don't agree with what he comes out with on the other side of that information, right? But he reads it,
But at least
which is
he
important.
does. Yeah. So where does he stand when it comes to the desal and all that?
He is not a fan, and I've had multiple
Really?
conversations. He just doesn't he doesn't like it, and I can't get him to hone in on why. He doesn't like it.
What's the alternative?
I mean, the wells that they're trying to do that aren't going so good, the Evangeline project, they do like current council does like to boast about they've done more for water security this council than ever before. They've approved $1 billion of spending. The problem is it's just not yielding results.
Mhm.
We've got pipe laying on the ground for the Evangeline project, and that thing's going to be backed up in lawsuits probably for the next few years possibly.
Wow.
So they took a gamble on that. You always hear price, but we're going to roll the dice, order all this special made pipe, get it on the ground just for someone to say that they have standing and we can't go forward. So it's not panning out the way they want to. And it's unfortunate because we as citizens lose when they do that. And we have a fully permitted project. The more we kick it down the road, the farther away it is. And we've been blessed with some recent rains. I just don't want people to get complacent and comfortable.
Right.
Like, okay, we're good now. No, we're not good. You can't trust service water.
I don't really even like the idea of wells,
I don't either.
only because I feel like they're taking up resource unnecessarily when you got ocean water galore.
And the problem with wells, if you've got a bigger straw, it kind of takes away from everybody else.
Right.
That
People
rely
that
on
depend
that
on
water.
it, yeah.
They do.
Farmers and ranchers and
And then you deal
country
with
living people.
and it's just we can be a good community partner. We just have to figure it out and go with the project we have. Get Inner Harbor taken care of. Then we can focus on some other projects.
I feel like I heard issues out there in the Sinton area when it comes to wells taking up some of the waters and maybe even contaminating the water that they are able to still get. Have
That's
you
where
heard about
that's
that?
where the Evangeline project is at, is in Sinton.
In Sinton. So have you heard anything about that? Waters out there, issues with well water?
No, I from my understanding, that groundwater is pretty decent out there. That's why the Evangeline would work out great. Because
I wish I could remember exactly what the issue was, but there was like a petition or some kind of questionnaire that was going out if anybody had been experiencing certain things
was it
with
like
their well
was it
water.
like TDS in the
Nah,
well?
I think it was like well, I don't know what it was in the water, but it was like a local person that was putting that survey out.
Like I know there's arsenic in the Nueces County wells.
Right.
Is that what you're
I
talking
think
about?
Robstown had that too.
Yeah.
That might have been it. I don't remember. I wish I did, but I know it was a big issue, and they were becoming like activists kind of about it.
That's why those wells aren't flowing what they could, because they're only allowed to put so much in the river per day. So
Yeah.
another roadblock,
Just
another almost.
get the desal done is what I think.
I think so too. And people want it on the ballot, and I would argue it kind of is on the ballot, because if you're for that, you're going to vote for the candidate. That's what everybody's running on.
That's
honestly.
what been my frustration for a long time. In the past, they always want to put everything to the ballot. I'm like, bro, that's why y'all are there. We've elected y'all to be there to make those decisions and choices. And if we don't like them, at the end of the day, we'll vote you out.
That's right.
But you have to make a decision. And I think that our council doesn't make decisions.
No, I agree. I learned that in business early on. I don't always make the best decision, but
you make
I
it.
make a decision. And if it's the wrong one, well, I've gained valuable knowledge from that.
Right.
I'll never do it again.
Course correct.
Right. and it's never so catastrophic that it's it's devastating. You've done enough due diligence and you're smart enough to make an okay decision.
Right.
Maybe not the best decision, right? But like you say, you will course correct, and you'll get it figured out.
What would you say has to happen with our city council, Corpus Christi City Council?
I think we need a group of folks on there that are level-headed, good leaders, like real leaders.
Give me a more specific. What has to happen with who's there, what's happening there, what needs to take place?
Are you saying, do I think they all should be replaced?
Well, if that's what you think, is that what you think? Like, what do you think needs to happen?
I think it's probably time.
Everybody. Is there anybody on there that's a good member?
I like Mark. I do like Mark
Scott. Okay.
Yep, I do. I really do. I mean, he might, from what I'm hearing, I'm just, the whispers you hear, the folks you talk to, I feel like the citizens might be ready to just totally start over, which, don't get me wrong, is not what I want, right? Because if you have, whether I'm on the council or not, if you have 8 freshmen, or if there's a new mayor too, if you got 9 freshmen, that's kind of an issue too, right? Because we're all going to have to kind of be learning at the same time. We don't have any senior council member to show us the ropes. Staff's going to kind of maybe have their way for a little bit, right? As they try to show us what's going on.
Yeah. I like the gentlemen that I've had on the podcast. I think they presented themselves well and had good thinking and stuff like that. I didn't really get into certain things with Mr. Roy, but he was a very, very nice guy. What do you think about the mayor?
I think she's doing a good job with what she's faced with. I think she's showing real leadership, because I promise you that's a tough deal. Like, you go in every city council meeting and the people to your right and your left, for the majority, don't want you there and are trying to remove you. That's pretty tough to keep your head held high and conduct business as usual. I think she's doing a pretty good job. I think she's showing great leadership, quite honestly.
I always look at who the opposition is, who the attacks are coming from. And even if I don't know the person that's being attacked, sometimes just by knowing the attackers,
yeah, you can come.
I can feel like, man, I think I'll be on her side. But I want to find that out for sure, and I want her to be on the podcast. And it looks like it's going to happen, but we'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I gained a lot of respect for her in these last few months. I really have.
Yeah.
That one long city council meeting that the last time they went 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. She had her pretrial here at 9 in the morning, and she was there the entire time. She stayed professional the entire time.
Was it a 15-hour meeting or something?
She wasn't up there yawning or anything like that. And public comment, they attack her too. That's another issue we need to try to figure out. I still want people to go up there and say their piece, but it sure would be nice if we actually stuck with decorum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be respectful.
Yeah.
Don't call people names. Don't try to come up with songs for folks. Let's keep it to city business, and say your point. And that's how you get your point across with somebody anyways. If I was trying to change your mind, if I go up there and start cussing at you, are you going to even listen to what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely not. But if we have a cordial conversation, something I say might stick and it might sway you, or something you say might sway me. So we need nice, healthy debate and conversation in this town.
That's what we need always, right? That's the beauty of our country, right? Just celebrated 250 years
that's cool.
Being a nation. Just this past Saturday, 4th of July. How did you spend your 4th of July?
It was actually pretty casual. We went to some friend's house. We did hamburgers and hot dogs, and we kind of played cards.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? There was a lot of buzz, a lot in the atmosphere of us turning 250. Is it significant? Like, what should our mindset be about that?
I don't know. For us, it was kind of weird, because normally I go pretty hard with the fireworks. I'm a firework fan, but we just didn't do it that year. We kind of just stayed with our close friends and family and enjoyed a nice casual night. So it was nice.
Yeah. Were you being mindful of the fact that we hit this milestone?
We were definitely, happy birthday, United States. You know what I mean? It was kind of
America.
It was kind of cool, but at the same time, maybe like we did 250, kind of nervous if we can hit 300, 350, just because of we got some things going on the federal level too.
Yeah. So history's shown us that nations, what was it, democracies or whatever, they don't last more than what, 250 years?
That's what I'm saying. We're kind of getting to that precipice where it's, can we keep it?
Huh? If you can keep it.
Yeah, empires don't last forever.
Yeah, if you can keep it.
That's right.
How well do you think we're doing?
You know, I don't know. A few years ago, I think we're doing pretty good, but you know, I'm not too impressed with what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think we need people in office at all levels that truly care about the actual people. And that's another reason I decided to get into politics, because when people are running, they say the best things. You're like, oh my God, I agree with this person. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. And then they get elected and they don't do that. They do a complete 180. And I'm trying to figure out what happens, you know, like literally what happens. Are they told they can't do that? Did they do that just to get elected? Like literally what happens? I feel like someone can go in there and do right.
Well, there's some people that'll tell you exactly what they're going to do, and they go in and do it, and then people are surprised that they're doing that. Like you got this gentleman, James Tallarico, that is saying some crazy things under the guise of being a Christian and Christianity. I'm trying to get him, and I got two people trying to get him.
I heard Denise say she was going to try to make it happen.
She hasn't. So I'm calling her out tonight. She said she could beat Bobby Pulido in getting him for me. But she did reach out to him, though. She did send me that screenshot. But saying some crazy things. Have you heard any of the things he's saying?
Not too much. But
yeah, it's kind of strange.
give me a piece of what crazy he's saying.
Well, there's 6 genders.
Oh.
That God was okay with abortion. He gave Mary the option to abort.
No.
The choice, which that's not at all what happened. And just little crazy things like that.
Yeah, I hope you do get him. That's going to be an interesting
I would love, because again, I give people an opportunity to talk.
Right.
Right. And there's no arguing. There's no yelling. It's conversation, whether I agree with them or not. And we learn from each other, right? And I just want to be able to ask what he meant by that, where he got that from.
And why.
Yeah, and why.
Yeah.
Saying God is non-binary, and which, I mean, looking at the scripture, I can kind of understand some of that. But I don't think he's bringing it across in the same manner that I see it. God is not male nor female, but he does present himself in the masculine as the father. But within him is everything. God made man in his own image. He made man, male and female.
Well, and Jesus is also God, right? He's a male.
Right.
So I have a hard time comprehending how he's not
right. So
male.
Yeah. So that's why I would like to get him here, just so he can explain some of those things.
That's
to
interesting.
Me. I think that'd be a fascinating conversation.
Well, just in case anyone's curious, I think there's 2 genders.
2 genders. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here, America. That's good, man. We need some common sense. We need people that go to God. Like you said, you guys pray about decisions that y'all are making. Man, I think that should be foundational.
It should be. Yeah,
in the founding of our country, I think you had to be a Protestant Christian just to run for office. I think some of the states you had to be Catholic, but nonetheless, you had to have faith in God to be able to run for office. And now it's almost like you can't run for office if you have faith in God. That's kind of like the stigma.
Yeah, that is a shame too, because I mean, it's his country. In God we trust. Right. I mean, that's what the country was founded on. Right. Christian values, for sure.
I think people are coming back to that. I think common sense, wholesome leadership is what people are looking for. I think I believe we've tried a lot of going outside the norm and stuff, and we paid the price for it. And we kind of have to come back to traditional values and morals and kind of protect those things.
That's good.
And I sense that's where you're coming from.
I'm with you there, absolutely. Like no men in women's sports. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know how we got to any of that
Yeah.
ever,
Yeah.
but definitely I think, fathers in the home, we're the rock, we're the leaders. We should lead in faith as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
That's good. Well, thank you so much for joining me in the den. I think it's like I said earlier, God puts the right people at the right time, and it's never coincidental or accidental. It's always a God thing in the making. And when do you guys start campaigning?
it is happening. We are. I've had a meet and greet. I'll have another one soon. So I'm fixing to do block walking. I got signs going up. That's kind of what we did today. Me and my little daughter, we went out and put signs up, which was cool. She had a good time doing it. But people can find me on Facebook, and I'm always open to a debate. Like, someone's going to see this and disagree with me. I would love to at some point have a cup of coffee, have lunch, and have a discussion. I really do think that's what we need. But I also have an email. It's John, the numeral 4, district, the numeral 5, at gmail.com. I do want to hear back and forth on that. I don't have a website yet. I will soon have a website.
So elections will be in November.
It will be.
So
it will be.
it's a
So
short.
we can't even really declare till July 31st. That's when we can officially declare that we're running.
Man, you got 3 months.
It's going to
after
fly
that.
by. It's going to go quick. Yeah. It's a grind. Me and my wife have been to events like crazy. But
Wow.
but it's fun. You got to, I think it works out because you got to be able to prove that you're willing for that.
Yeah,
You're up for
absolutely.
that grind. Like tonight, we had stuff to do. I was busy, pivot, drop, go. It'll be up till, 11 o'clock at night if need be. That's what it takes to be a true leader. And
Who will you be running against?
There's a gentleman named David Pena that's running, and there's one other lady that I know of, and I've heard of a couple more, but no real official announcements yet. So
All right. This is not a Republican Democrat type of situation, or is it?
it's not. It's
That's not, okay.
yeah.
Good. Good.
But
We're-
I assume people will figure out who's on what
who's
side,
on what
right?
side, yeah.
But it's a nonpartisan race.
Okay, cool. So David and what was the lady's name?
I don't know her name. Yeah.
Do you know their kind of platforms?
As far as their beliefs on
What's going on?
the lady who I don't she's a friend of Rachel.
Selena. Is it
No,
Selena?
that's District 2.
Okay.
But the lady that's in District 5 as well, she's anti Inner Harbor.
Oh, okay.
And David, I believe he's for Inner Harbor, but and that's going to be a challenge for me. I have to distinguish myself from him. I'm an industry guy. He's in retail, so I think that's some of the strengths I have, like making deals, leading large projects, large crews, making decisions. The decisions I make, if they go wrong, people get seriously injured or worse. You know what I mean? So I'm used to making difficult decisions, kind of on the fly too. It's got to happen pretty quick sometimes. So.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite qualities of leaders is being decisive, being able to make decisions, sticking with them, and going forward. Unfortunately, I feel like I lack in that area a little bit, but I admire people who have that instinct with decisions. So yeah, that's big quality of leadership. And
I agree.
On
And
a
you got to
scale
be
of
able to lead people. Like
Yeah,
you do
absolutely.
have to be able to convey your ideas and get people on board and truly communicate what you're after, what you need.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you say your decision making or your level of decisiveness would be?
I'm a 10. I'm an absolute
10.
beast on decision making.
Awesome. Good.
Like it's a gift from God.
Good.
Not, and I say that in the most humble way. It's just
Yeah.
I've proven it's worked out for me.
Good. I admire that, man. That to me, I see people who are like that. I'm like, wow. I wish when I grow up, I want to be like that. So, Mr. John Hanzalik, thank you for joining me in the den. Any last words you'd want to throw out there to the people watching?
Well, I do just want to, as I always shout out, my beautiful wife, Jessica Hanzlik, that's here. RC Padron, she's on my campaign.
All right.
Amazing woman. Janet Fonseca, Gloria, amazing women that are on my team. So
Good. So again, thank you for joining me in the den.
Gloria Fuentes, I'm sorry if I
Gloria
I
Fuentes,
forgot
who's
her
that?
last- I forgot to say her last name. We are all in Leadership Corpus Christi, and if I could give them a plug, are you familiar with Leadership Corpus Christi?
Yes, sir.
That was an amazing program for me. I'm LCC 54, and I met some amazing people in that.
How does somebody get into that?
We have to be a great leader.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kind of, but they make you a better leader.
Right.
You apply,
You apply.
You do apply, and they select 30 people every year. They just did their selection process. I don't know who all made it. I don't think the list is out yet, but I know they've made their selection. But it's a 10-month program, and you go through it, and you come out just a better individual on the other side.
Good.
And I've met some lifelong friends.
Awesome.
For
I
sure.
know. Was Mr. Barrera on that one? Was it Gabe Guerra? So I saw somebody that.
I think Roland was an alumni,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I thought so. I know Mark Scott was. In fact, in our retreat, our opening retreat, Mark comes, him and his wife Carol. They give like a history of Corpus. That's another thing you actually learn about your city. Even though I was born and raised in Corpus, I didn't really know Corpus. But when you go through that course, I mean, you learn it all. Like
Awesome.
they put you through it, which is amazing.
Okay, good. Well, I want to make sure we're done before I say once again, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Amen.
I appreciate it.